Mother made me go to church. Not only did she make me go to church, she made me go to the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts. And my friends used to hide with me. I used to change my clothes and take them off. But I didn't appreciate that then. I don't even see what my mother, her blessings or her greatness until today. I'm so happy I went through those things. We couldn't even use the word doo-doo. We had to say BM for bowel movement. My house was that strict. You heard how old my aunt is. So I thank Allah for that. And if not, I'd be really into verse 1 and verse 2. You really had me gone. You know, my passion and desire will rule me and everything else. But because of your upbringing. See, a lot of times your upbringing put things in your mental that help you grow with. And that's what we got to learn how to do as a people. What I mean by that is, a lot of us need to understand, and this is important, why Noble Jew Ali told the Moors that these lessons are for all those who love Jesus and desire to know about his life, works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa. And he said these events occurred before he was 30 years of age. And he said these secrets, now let me share something with you though. He didn't say these lessons are for all those who love Muhammad. He didn't say that. And he told the Moors that do not let foreign Muslims on your roster. And he didn't use the word Muslim, he used the word Muslim. And so many of us in this government, we was thinking that the slave name was Lynch, Smith, Solomon, Johnson, but the slave name is Negro, colored, and black. See, those are not slave names. There's no such thing as a Muslim name. I want to say this again, because we have a brother now that got to change his stuff back up because he didn't know no better. See, let me share this again because I shared it last week. I got a friend of mine that lives in Saudi Arabia, and he's an Arabian. He was born there. But he's a Christian in the Christian church. And his name is Abdullah Yusuf, or one of them names. I know the first one is Abdullah. And I asked, I said, man, you got a Muslim? He said, ain't no such thing, no Muslim name. He said, you got 100 Christians, 1,000 Christians, 100,000 Christians here in Arabia. You know, just like you have all over the world. And when we was born, we was given a name. So these are Arabian names, not African names, Arabian names. So a lot of us take on names because we learned Arabic. And we think that we have to take on these names, but I'm going to tell you something. See, because I was in the Moorish Temple when there wasn't a whole lot of Sunnis in this government. You might find 10, 12 brothers that were Sunnis. And they looked at us real crazy and talked real bad to us when we were trying to quote Arabic. They look at them. See? But now, Jew Ali told us that these lessons are for all those who love Jesus. And most of our brothers now, you ain't gonna like it, but it don't make a difference. Make a difference if you like it or not. If that Taliban over there in the Middle East tell you to go blow up the Pentagon or blow up these state houses around here, you'll go do it, not knowing that your people is right in them. I'm humanity anyway, but I mean your own people is in there. And you can let somebody of another nationality tell you to kill your own. It's almost happened to my family. So now I see why Noble Jew Ali told the Moors, you know, don't let foreign Muslims on your roster. And he told the Moors that these lessons are for all those who love Jesus. Because the original Arabians anyway is not in Arabia. They look like you and me. Those people that you see in the Middle East went there. Why do you think they're beefing in the Middle East? Because somebody claiming somebody else's territory. See? And who in this government got the most money? Those who call themselves Jews. But they say Jesus was the king of the Jews. So if Jesus is the king of the Jews, then how can the European be a Jew? Now Hitler said he gonna kill the Jews, and he got them because they stole somebody else's birthright. Remember the lesson of Esau and Jacob? When one sold the other birthright out? Who in the history of mankind lost the birthright other than you and me? This Bible here, this Bible is one of the best books in the world, one of the beautiful books in the world. Because in this Bible is our history. From the East comes all light. This book didn't come out the West. King James, the one you call King James, James Stewart, took this book. And he went into this book, and he said, I'm going to look in this book and see what I could do. Because, man, them people over there, they got too much signs. And it look like it's for their earthly and their divine salvation. He said, but now I'm going to have to take this book, and I'm going to have to change it around so it'll look like that it's ours. But it can only be for my earthly salvation. It can't be for my earthly and my divine salvation. And the reason why it can't be for my earthly and divine salvation, because if you're doing things that's opposed to what God say do, if you are stealing, then it ain't there. And this is why the world is like it is today. I said not too long ago that we keep saying that we know Jesus, have woolly hair, bronze feet, but when I come in your house, he looked like Charles Heston. So that's subliminal seduction. Subliminal seduction is when something goes into your subconscious mind, and then you begin to act it out. Now, I'm so happy that I have a flag that flies in the United Nations, because everybody don't have a flag. And the first nation on earth that ever had a treaty with the United States was us, Morocco. Now, what Morocco are we talking about? Let me get back with this, because you have a French Morocco, you have a Spanish Morocco. Man, they done been in Morocco and took over Morocco 100 times, especially after 1492. Now, if that's the case, the Moroccan Empire today is in America. The Moroccan Empire is not there. Now, when you begin to talk about the Negro River, it said Negro is a name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contained black water. Where is that today? So these nations of people is changing the maps. They're changing everything around to fit another concept, and 10 years from now, the map's going to be changed again. 100 years from now, Noble Drew Ali, if we ain't careful, will be looking like Elvis Presley because of what he bought, what Allah gave him. I remember he first come to the Ellis Islands, and the Europeans said, where's that? He says, right here. Here it is right here. When he talked to the sheiks of Arabia, he said, give me back what's mine. And the Arabians said, what you talking about? They thought he was talking about something tangible. He said, give me back the mind of my people. See, so there's a lot of studying that we need to do as brothers and sisters. See, we don't have libraries. Man, I tell you something. I went to Barnes and Nobles, and I asked for certain books, and we don't even carry them books here. We need bookstores here, so our babies can study, so they can learn the truth about themselves, so they can learn their history. It was just recently when our people learned that George Washington wasn't the first president of the United States. And then they learned that John Hanson, who was the first president, was the one that commissioned George Washington when he was the general. So there's so much that we need to know as a people, but we got to come out of slavery. A lot of times we think that slavery is over, but the chains were taken off of your and my mind legs because they was put on our mind. But now, the truth is what set you free. Now let's look at Ruth again. Because if you put a T on truth, Ruth, you're going to get the truth. Now, in this lesson of Ruth, and they talk about Boaz. Now, Boaz is a pillar in certain organizations, certain secret organizations. And Noble Drew Ali brought us Boaz to let us know that he took the covers off of all secret organizations. And all the secret organizations, they have what is known as tools that they use. They have tools of the workshop of the mind. And these tools of the workshop of the mind that they're using is tools that will build up your character. What do that mean? That means that, say if you had a compass, it's a symbolic tool, it's a mental tool. And you'll take the compass and you draw a circle, see, around your passions and your desires. And when you draw a circle around your passions and desires, then you keep them in the bounds of righteousness. That's just like we have the circle 7. And see, the 7, as long as you're inside the circle, you all right. But when you get outside the circle, you ain't all right no more. A friend of mine, Rashid, the other day he gave me a DVD to look at because he bring a lot of people in. And he had brought a doctor in to Mallory Church and gave a lecture. And when the brother was giving the lecture, what he said in the lecture was, he said that most surgeons pass away at the age of 58. I said, wow. And he said the reason why it probably is because of the karma that's on them, because they know a lot of times they're killing them, they're using them, they have them as guinea pigs, etc. So Allah take them out. I remember one time I was in Washington, D.C., and I gave a brother, I'm in science when I talk too, I gave a brother a star on a crescent. And he took the star on the crescent and put it in his window in his truck, his car. And he had 4 accidents in a month. And the first thing he said was, man, the reason why I had those accidents is because I had the star and crescent in my window. And I agree with that, because it should never been there because of your spirit. And Allah let us know that because of your spirit, because nothing happens by chance or accident. And when we go through the trials and tribulations that we go through, sometimes it could be because of our own karma. The things that we don't do, the things that we should do, the places that we shouldn't go, we go. The things that we should do for our family, we don't do. The love that we should give to humanity, we don't do that. We're hating instead of loving. When Noble Drew Ali told the Moors to learn to love instead of hate. So all of us understand this, that in chapter 1 of the Moorish Holy Quran, the prophet says that many ages, man is going to tarry until all his lessons are learned. So when you leave this physical form, a lot of people keep talking about, I'm going on the plane of soul. He ain't even ready to come on the plane of soul yet. Just because you leave this earth don't mean you coming back here. You ain't going up on the plane of soul. You ain't even ready for that yet. You coming right here to earth because there's many ages you're going to tarry until these lessons are learned. Then you're going on the plane of soul and then back to the spirit where you live. So many ages man going to turn until his lessons are learned, and until we learn our lessons. That's why you might go somewhere and say, man, I know I've been there before. You have, but not in this flesh. See, man is not the body nor the soul. He's a spirit and a part of Allah. And it's not in flesh to think, and it's not in bones to reason. And whatever we do, we're going to have to be held accountable for. The way you treat your brothers and sisters, because they have a law of karma. They have a lot of different laws. They have law of attraction. They have a law of a lot of things. But right now I'm talking about the law of karma. Because the brother talked about the law of karma deals with cause and effect. And what go around, gonna come around. So all of you who think that you have a polished coat and you're getting away with a lot of things, you ain't getting away with it, because don't think that Allah wink at your doings. See? And when you keep talking negative about your brothers and your sisters, people will start looking at you. They say, wow, I see these people doing something good. I see them all over in Africa. I see them in Europe, everywhere, doing God's work, and you ain't doing nothing but talking about somebody. If you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. This is how you become one with God. This is how you become a Muslim. This is how you submit your will to Allah. See, the will of man make possible the actions of the holy breath. See? And when the will of Allah and the will of man become one, then the resurrection is a fact. And you resurrect, that means you rise above. You rise above the things of the world. You rise above hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that's harm. I need all these books. But when I look at each one of these books, I see them all. That's why Noble Drew Ali had to bring us this one. We called it the Book of Fire. See, I was reading in this book today, the last surah in this chapter talk about Al-Nas. It's talking about the whispering jinn. And I'm going to tell you, Noble Drew Ali bought this book, but he's a prophet. Some people say that Noble Drew Ali can't be no prophet. Some say after Moses, nobody else going to come. Then some say after Jesus, nobody else gonna come. Some say after Muhammad, nobody else gonna come. But we Moorish Americans, we can't circumscribe God's thoughts. We say Noble Drew Ali is the last prophet in these days and time. We can't say what might happen later on because that might be a need for Allah to send another prophet. Well, why would you all had to send Noble Drew Ali?